It's been years and years since the young blood ruled the hallways of the house. Have you found all of the secrets it holds yet? Will the young blood play in the basement? Or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never hear them scream.
Kraken Cans Cast, and I don't know what that was, but I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to hear this.
Yeah, a little bit freaky.
It's a lot freaky.
We're fixing to get our freak on tonight, I think.
Yeah, I'm feeling
Mikey likey.
Mikey likey.
Yeah.
Oh, and just so everybody knows, we're in the new studio today.
New studio. It feels like Christmas morning. I was like 13 years old, and I unwrapped my American Eagle underwear that had gnomes on them, and baby, I went right into my room and just threw them right on, baby. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Like
same building.
Same
We're in
building.
the same building. We're just in an updated new studio. Same backdrop. Well, a little different, but
yeah, I'm super excited because sometimes when we're out in the garage, my toesies get a little cold, my Crocs. And now I don't have to worry about that. I can go back to wearing no socks with my Crocs when I come over here.
I just don't want to see your feet anymore.
Yeah, a man should never see another man's feet. That's just the way it should be. And you know what? I can't apologize enough for that.
Well,
absolutely disgusting.
You already crossed the line, so.
Yeah, that one time. Just that one time.
Almost two.
Well, I'm sure I've done it more than once, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Like in the old Snallygaster episode, there were definitely lines that were crossed in that just pandemonium of an episode.
Yeah. But, I mean, today we followed up with Krampus after that, which...
Yeah, is the new folklore score numero uno, which is awesome.
The new champion.
Yeah, I thought he'd go high. It did surprise me he's number one.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd be number one, but...
Because we haven't had one get a high score in forever.
Yeah.
Like, we were just at the bottom.
We were. Now we're at the top.
And Jersey Devil is at the bottom already.
Oh, yeah.
So
he might be gone.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
And then we'll bring Champ back.
Yeah, Champ will never leave.
I keep trying to bring him back.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm totally just against bringing him back at this point. I just love him.
Yeah.
He just seems like he's so fun.
We could just throw him up there for, like, honorable mention.
Yeah. Or we should put him on. We got the board that we hardly ever update over here.
Yeah.
Our cork board.
We could just throw him up there, yeah.
I love that. I love on the cork board how we just have a picture of a Bloody Mary. It's like, man, that will never go off that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so heard the intro. If you didn't, I guess you probably didn't hear the intro, but that was a little excerpt from The Watcher. That's who we're going to get into today.
And The Watcher, that's something that I know nothing about except for that letter.
Yeah.
That you read.
Yeah, I didn't. It was one of those things that I didn't know I knew about it till I started reading about it. And I remember years ago reading articles about this, whatever this whole story is. So excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited. So what beer we got?
So today we have New Trail Brewing Company. But have we had New Trail before, didn't we? Would we have a New Trail? Oh, flannel season. Flannel weather? Flannel weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flannel weather.
Which episode is that?
That was the Hide Behind.
Hide Behind. Yeah. So we had that one. It's good. It's this brewery that's not super far from us.
And like I've said it before, it's up there. It's like behind Trogs, in my opinion, in Pennsylvania breweries, like New Trail. Like they're pumping out. So I was talking to my brother-in-law today because he sent me a picture of this new new trail beer.
We talking about the big-headed one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He sent me a picture of this new trail beer, and it just came out, I guess. And he's like, man, these guys, they come out with so many beers. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, they probably have like 4 beers, and they just keep putting them in different cans.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Like,
Because I remember for the longest time, when the first time I had New Trail, I just didn't really get it again because I tried like 3 different things, and I thought they all tasted almost like they were just like slightly different and not enough for me to get super excited about it.
I think the one he sent me today was like a hazy. And he just had a different hazy from there, and he's like, I don't know how much more like a hazy, how much different a hazy can taste from.
Oh, if you strain it through the right thing, it'll get hazier, my friend.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how that works at all. I think that's actually the opposite of how it works. I think when it's like unfiltered, it gets more haze. But yeah, we'll go with it. So today we have the Raven, and Corey, I picked a can for a couple cool reasons.
Ooh, we got some cool reasons.
Yeah, not for normal Mike reasons.
Our topic isn't the Raven.
It's not the Raven.
Or the bird.
But, I mean, I'll get into that. So, I could not find anything on the Raven beer on New Trail's website, though. They have a huge archive section with like 50 or 60 of their beers. There's nothing on the can about it except for that it's I'm going to totally butcher this one. I have like how it's supposed to be pronounced. Scherwatzertsbier? Scherwatzertsbier. You try it. See what you think.
I was going to say Schwarber. like the baseball player, Kyle Schwarber.
I felt like your lips moved a lot. Nothing came out at first. But yeah. So this word is simple German for black beer. It doesn't mean it's necessarily heavy or light in body, although most examples tend to be on the lighter side, which this one today does because it comes in at like 4.3%. So unlike porters or stouts or other dark beers, they're not overly bitter with the burnt and heavy roasted malt characteristics that these styles tend to depend on. Instead, hops are used to achieve a good portion of bitterness. Smooth on the palate, soul-lifting, and refreshing with a dry finish. Beers make a great alternative for the winter months, especially when you're looking for a lighter beer, but one with depth of color and a bittersweet taste that might bring to mind coffee, cocoa, or the most disgusting thing in the world, licorice. You a black licorice fan?
I don't like it.
Yeah, I hate it.
No.
It tastes.
But that was one of the things we
butt.
talked about in Krampus that could possibly keep Krampus away.
It was, yeah. Because who likes that?
But doesn't Jaeger kind of have like a black licorice taste to it? So
Yeah, a little bit.
It's funny though, because like I'm getting on Krampus again just because it just made me so happy when we did that one.
Corey's got a boner for Krampus.
And tonight, well, never mind.
Yeah, the table's rising on his side every time I hear Krampus come up. It's like,
shit, you messed me up now.
You blame me for
Son of
everything. Everything I get blamed for.
Oh, I don't even know what I was going to say now. I was going to say about Jaeger and then licorice and whatever. Just keep going.
You did bring up as Jaeger being the treat to give Krampus.
Yeah, so I think that's what I was saying. Like, I brought up Jaeger.
But that's kind of, but now that you look at it, you said, like, Jaeger be a good thing, like Krampus would like that, but he doesn't like licorice, so he probably wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
Now that we think about it. The world may never know.
I don't know.
The things that go through our brain.
I wanted to ask you, though, on the back of this it says lager.
Yeah, it's a lager type beer.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I don't know did it say that? Then no, I don't know. Yeah, but then on the front...
It just randomly says lager.
Yeah.
Like just...
And I guess lager just refers to more of the yeast and the finishing process of it. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Anyways. So why this beer made me think of it, right? So there's 2 reasons. We are right in the middle of Pennsylvania hunting season. I like to go out in the woods. I like to hunt. When you are out in the woods, and I know it's not necessarily a raven, but a raven and a crow I feel like are very similar animals.
Yeah.
When you see a crow, when a crow sees you, they watch. Like they are just like natural born watchers, and they are known for alerting the whole woods what's going on. Like they are loud, but they also like never stop lurking. The other reason that I got this beer is this whole story with the Watcher. Hollywood wanted like all the rights for the Watcher. Lifetime, you've seen like Lifetime movies before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They obviously were not going to spend their money on to get the rights for the Watcher. Instead, they came up with an eerily similar movie called The Raven. And so the author didn't finish all his letters as the Watcher. He was the Raven.
Oh, I see what they did there.
Yeah, so I think the family ended up actually suing Lifetime, I think, before it was all said and done, because it was the same exact story,
wow.
but just with a different name. So yeah, so when I saw The Raven, it definitely made me think of that.
They probably use the same character names too. That'd be hilarious.
I wouldn't doubt
they
it.
kept the same names, and the same town.
So
like
the family's name is the Broadus family. They probably call them like the Brodus family.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Instead of it being Derek and Maria, it's like Dirk and Mary.
Yeah.
So with that, let's cheers. Hold on, Corey. There's like nothing left in your glass. We just started.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you though, this is a good beer. I'm not a
No,
huge...
I didn't try it. I didn't
right.
try it yet.
Right.
Hold on.
Well, you take your sip. All right, he took a sip. So,
Oh, that's a good beer.
I'm not a huge stout porter type of guy because I don't like coffee, and a lot of them have strong coffee tastes. I mean, I'll sometimes I'll drink a porter, but not very often. But this is good. Like it has that slight stout porter kind of style taste, but it's very like minimal, I feel like.
Yeah, it is a really odd taste though, because you get like that coffee, a little bit of that burnt, but then you get a weird hop bitterness too with it, like at the end.
I feel like at the end you kind of taste like that typical like lager type taste too.
Yeah, it's different. I don't know if it's quite my pint of beer. That's okay. What do you think? Would you get more?
I would. Kind of reminds me, well, maybe a little bit like Black and Tan, like Yingling Black and Tan.
Yeah. Black and Tan's one of those ones that I always want to like, but I get it.
I like it. I haven't had it in a couple of years.
I just get it, and it's always like, yeah, it's okay.
My buddy in college, it's all you would get was Black and Tan. Back when I was getting my Coors Extra Gold.
Are you, when you say Black and Tan, you're talking about beer though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah. No, he
That's
was
what I
white.
thought. Yeah. Well, till he got so tanned.
Yeah. Then he was black.
Yeah. And with that, folks,
Are we gonna hear about the Watcher now?
you want to hear about the Watcher?
I want to hear about the Watcher.
All right, let's get into it. So first, I'm going to dive into the family that this involves. So this family is the Broadus family, and they lived in New York City at the time. So you had a husband, Derek, he was able to climb his way up the ladder at a big insurance company in New York City. So because of that, he was making some real good Skrilla,
Yeah.
So he was originally from Maine before he moved down there. His wife, Maria, was actually from New Jersey. That's where this story is going to take place.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. We're back, baby. Hey, jerk-offs, just when you thought you got rid of us, here we are.
Back again.
Back again. Jersey Devil. Oh, no. We're talking about the Watcher. So the Brodus family had 3 kids.
Do you have a year for this?
So,
Or do you talk about that later? I'm just curious.
yeah, I'll get into it, but
All right.
2014. So this is newer.
Shit.
Yeah, this is like super, super recent.
Wow.
Which I thought was really interesting because this is definitely like an urban legend type story, I would say. How many urban legends can you think of after, Black-Eyed Children's probably the only other.
Late 90s.
Yeah.
Maybe like Slender Man.
Yeah.
That'd be...
Yeah, but and this is like one of those like internet blow up stories.
Yeah.
But this one's different because there's so much, like this is like a real story. You know what I mean? Like there's facts, there's real copies of the letters out there. Like this is real. So we'll get into all that stuff, but I just found it really interesting that we're like in the 20 teens for a story.
That's 10 years ago.
Yeah.
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 10 years ago, I was 22.
Damn.
What were you, 33?
33 10 years ago.
23, I meant.
33
I
10
meant
years ago.
23.
Yeah, it's 23.
Okay.
Son of a bitch. Anyways.
Go ahead.
So the Brodus family had 3 kids. Could not really find the ages of the kids online, which I think was kept offline on purpose. But all in all, they were a really successful family. Successful enough that they bought their dream home for... How much do you think their dream home in New Jersey cost?
$2,000. It's New Jersey.
$2,000.
Yeah.
That's your guess.
Hold on. All right. Okay. Let me be serious here.
Yeah.
Dream house, New Jersey.
Dream
I'm
house,
gonna say like
New Jersey.
300,000.
$300,000. So they bought their dream house for $1.4 million in the state of New Jersey.
You could buy the whole state for like half it. Well,
No,
double that.
that's expensive there though. Like that is an expensive state to live in. I don't know why. Probably because
unless you're right on the beach, like Atlantic City.
baby. Oh yeah, you know how I feel.
I know.
Yeah, so they bought their dream house at 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey. Getting into Westfield is actually where Maria was from. That was their reason for wanting to move there. And this town is known for being an expensive town to live in, a safe town to live in, and a family-friendly town to live in. So we're only like 45 minutes from New York City here in this town. Most of the people had children and grandchildren, so it was a quieter town, but it still had 30,000 people or so. On an article on Bloomberg, they actually ranked it as a top 100 town for the most expensive cities in the United States to live in.
Damn.
And I believe it was also in like the top 10 or 20 for the safest cities to live in with that, which I found interesting.
You know, though, if I was a serial killer, hypothetically,
Whoa.
I think what I would do is I would get online and I would search for the safest cities in the country, safest towns in the country, and that's where I would go to pick my victims.
I agree. I think it would be easy to get a couple victims from there, but I think being such a safe town that they would have nothing better to do than find the serial killer. Whereas you go to like Pine Bluff, Arkansas, which is like the murder capital of the state of Arkansas. They had a record, so I lived in Arkansas for a while. They had a record for like the first murder of the year, like 3 years in a row. Like right at midnight, people would just like shoot each other to be like the first murder of the year. That was their thing down there. But you figure you go down to a place like that and you knock off a couple hookers, no one's even really looking for you.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
But I would go like right down the list. Like, okay, I go to the number 1 safest, then I go to number 2 safest, and like that'd be my MO.
That'd be your MO.
I don't know what I'd do.
Whoa. Yeah, what would you do? How would you murder your victim? Let's hear it.
Ooh,
he says. Yeah. And that's where it gets scary. He's really thinking about
probably
this.
pigs. I would just
Hold on a second. Hold on, because this man, I got questions right now. So you're gonna be like a mobile killing serial killer.
Yeah.
But you're gonna bring your trailer of pigs everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Just not feed them from town to town. So they rip. Okay.
And we just drag our victim, throw them in the trailer, the pigs eat them, and then we drive off to the next town.
Off to the next town.
Yep.
All right.
Go ahead. Next.
Back into Westfield we'll go here. So the home itself was built in 1905 and was a big and beautiful, which it should be for like 1.4 million, 6-bedroom house. So honestly, it was kind of huge. When I'm going to get their name wrong. I keep wanting to call them the Brutuses.
The Brutuses.
But it's the Broaduses.
When you keep saying it, though, I keep thinking of like broth, like chicken broth. I keep thinking like a bowl of soup.
I keep thinking of pig broth and how I just want to throw them sons of bitches in there and let them simmer up real good.
Yeah.
So when the Broaduses bought the house, it went so fast they didn't even put a for sale sign up in the yard of this house.
Damn.
Yeah. This town was a super desirable place to live, and that's where our story begins. So this all took place this all started in the summer of 2014. Derek Broadus was painting his new home that him and his wife Maria had dreamed of. So they had contractors at the home working during the day, and Derek would come over in the evening to relax and paint and just kind of get the house in order. So as Derek got ready to head home, he decided to go check out the mailbox. This is where
What? He just went.
Well, he wanted to get the mail out of it quick.
Oh,
Like on
okay.
his, his way out to the
All
car.
right.
It's like, yeah, I'll go check out.
I didn't think they moved in yet, so
Yeah.
I'm like,
well,
what
they
the-
haven't, but they're still getting mail.
All
Like they bought the house.
Yeah.
They just haven't moved in yet.
All right.
So they decided to go to the mailbox. And this is where everything began. As he thumbed through the bills, he found a letter written to, quote unquote, the new owner. All right, so here we go. You ready for this letter?
So the letter you read in the beginning, like the intro, that's not this letter.
It's a different letter that these people. This is multiple letters he sends to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of letters.
I think there's 4 letters in total over the course of like maybe a year and a half or so.
Okay.
How did you end up here? Did 657 Boulevard call to you with its force within? So what would you think if you read that? Like, that's how this letter, like, that's pretty much how it started.
Like, I don't even know what to. It's basically saying like, did like the house summon you here? Like, did the
Yeah.
house call you to like move in here? Like,
Yeah, it was yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, what the hell?
So the house at 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched it in the 60s. It is now my time. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out. I see you have flooded 657 Boulevard with contractors so that you can destroy the house as it was supposed to be. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Bad move. You don't want to make 657 Boulevard unhappy. You have children. I've seen them. So far, I think there are 3 of them I've counted. Was your old house too small for the growing family? Or was it greed that brought me your children? Once I know their names, I will call to them and draw them to me. Who am I? There are hundreds and hundreds of cars that drive past 657 Boulevard each day. Maybe I am in one. Look at all the windows you can see from 657 Boulevard. Maybe I'm in one of those. Look out any of the many windows in 657 Boulevard at all the people who stroll by each day. Maybe I am one. Welcome, my friends, welcome. Let the party begin. With a signature in a cursive font that just says, The Watcher.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you say the Watcher?
Yeah. Like, how weird is that? Could you imagine? Like, you moved into this house, and within, this is like a matter of weeks. Now, you also have to remember that there was never a for sale sign outside of this house.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was like, because when you at first read that, it's just like, oh, this is somebody that got in a bidding war, or this is somebody that like always really wanted this house and didn't know it went for sale and feel like they missed their opportunity or something like that. Maybe it was, who knows? But it's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, like I don't even. My mind goes like a lot of different ways. Because like it almost sounds like kind of like a paranormal type thing where it's like a ghost.
It does.
Writing a letter
And
or something.
I just like how it like refers to the house as a name. 657
Yeah.
Boulevard. Like it doesn't just say like, I mean, once in a while it says the house, but it always refers 657
Yeah.
Boulevard. So, I don't know how, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times just looking at my sheet, just in like 2 paragraphs that he said 657 Boulevard.
Because like it reminds me of like, you know, a lot of those movies where there's like, you know, a hotel room where it's like, you know, room 202 or whatever is like haunted and stuff, and it's like, you know, whatever the address is.
And then when he said the part where you flooded 657 Boulevard with contractors so you can destroy the house as it was supposed to be, bad move. You don't want to make 657 Boulevard unhappy.
Yeah.
Like, it is not just a house, it is a living thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like a human. It's human.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the house is. It's like the house writing letters. The house is pissed off.
Like that. Did you ever see the Monster House with it's like a kid's movie?
I think I did.
I think it ends up being like so this house is like a real living thing, but it ends up being the guy that lives there. It's his like wife's deceased and she took over the house. So it's like her being angry and stuff like that. I don't know. It's really weird.
You know what else I think of? I can't remember the name of the movie. Like I was thinking about it today. Just
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
No, it's
Dang, tell him Large Marge sent you.
I don't remember the name of the movie, but I remember it was basically like the plot was like this couple moved into this house and they had like a landlord. I think they were renting or something, and the landlord like set up like cameras and stuff in it. And I think he lived like in like a closet or like in another part of the house that they didn't know existed. So he was like always watching them.
Was it so? It wasn't that movie Vacancy, was it? Where they're in a hotel room?
No, it was like
Okay.
it was like an apartment or a house.
Okay.
Like it was. It's not an old movie or anything, but I
Yeah.
can't remember the name of it. But the guy's like a little like special. Like he seemed like he came across as like a special person.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what the hell it was
We'll
called.
call him Corey.
But I remember he was always like wanking it, like at watching like the girl and stuff, and he's always like,
hell yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just
Corey with Krampus.
yeah.
Oh, Krampus, I hope you call me naughty tonight. Because tonight's the night.
It is.
I mean,
he'd come.
yeah.
Well, you broke the fourth wall. I
did
tried not to break it
again.
earlier.
Yeah,
Damn it.
again. But this is the night. What is it? December 5th?
5th,
Krampus night, baby.
Krampus night.
This could be the last recording we ever make.
But like, what if this guy? Like, I was just thinking about that movie. Like, what if this guy or person, whoever it is like living in the house and he's just like living in the walls? Because didn't he say something like you don't know what's in the walls or something
Yeah.
like that? Like, what if it's somebody that's
He questions that in like other letters, like you don't understand what's in the walls of 657 Boulevard.
like, what if he's just got this whole other house inside the house?
It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that movie The Boy, where so like a lady gets hired and her job is to take care of this like doll
No, I don't
because
think
their
I've seen
son
it.
had like died or something like that, or I don't know, something happened. But it turns out like the doll's always moving and stuff like that, you know. Well, it turns out that the boy lives in the walls and he moves the doll all over the house.
Yeah.
I can't. He's like wanted for murder or something like that. So that's why his parents made him live in the wall. I don't know. It's weird.
Bruno.
Yes, Bruno.
Encanto.
Yeah, okay.
Bruno, he lives in the
thought-
walls.
Yeah.
You're over there.
I would thought of Borat right away.
You did.
Hey, my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go,
Yeah.
let's go, US and day.
That's where my brain went, right? It's like, Borat, what the hell wall did he live in? Yeah.
Encanto.
I don't know. I've only seen that. I've only seen Encanto like 3,482 times
Yeah.
when my daughter makes me watch it.
Yeah, we've watched it a bunch too. But yeah, he lives in the house.
You're right.
In the walls. So this son bitch is. I'm gonna call him Bruno.
You'll call him Bruno. I'll call him the
We
Watcher.
don't talk about Bruno though.
So after reading this, Derek frantically ran around the house shutting off all the lights, which I think is a pretty logical thing. Like, I'm going to shut all the lights off so that we can look in the house anymore.
Do we know like what this house looks like? Because you know like is there pictures of this house? Like I can.
I'm
look
sure
up?
there is online.
Like,
yeah, I didn't look it up at all.
Because like it would be freakier too if it, like you know like some houses have just like glass walls and like you could see like every freaking room and cranny like in the house. It's just
Yeah.
made of glass.
That's what I just pictured. There's got to be a ton of windows in like a 6-bedroom
Yeah, $1 million
dollar house. Yeah.
house. Yeah,
Exactly.
because that's even creepier if it's like if the house looks like that.
Yeah.
It's just what I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So once he gathered himself, he called the police, who showed up and looked around. At this point, it was past 10 o'clock at night, and the police took a report and suggested that he move some of the which I thought this was like such a random thing they added to the article. By the way, I didn't cite my source, and I wanted to cite my source on this one because there's so many different sources online of information on this
Like
story.
the letters.
Yeah, like everybody kind of has different letters. So all the letters that I'm using and most of my source information came from an article that I read on thecut.com. And I think this article is also posted in the New York Magazine. So, which I never heard of either, but whatever. But yeah, a really good article. It's like, I don't know, I printed it off. It's like 18 pages long.
No
It's just-
rancor.
No rancor. A little bit of spanker.
We got the cut.
Yeah. I go a cut above.
Or is it a cut below?
Oh,
We'll find out. Keep going.
yeah. I think I know the answer already. Yeah, so they told him to move some construction equipment, which I thought was just super random because they were afraid that if somebody was there, that they would just throw it through the window.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, okay. Yeah. They could have just done that any day since we bought the house, but whatever. So then he left the house and he went home to make sure his wife and kids were okay because the person mentioned both his wife and kids in the letter.
So they were still living at the other house and
Yeah.
just doing work on the new
Yeah,
house.
I think the other house was still in New York City.
Yeah,
like
you
an
said that was,
apartment or whatever.
45 minutes away or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were still living in that house till they got everything renovated to move him. What I thought it was interesting when he got back to his house, one of the first things he did was he emailed the people that they bought the house from. So they were the Woods family. So he emailed them to see if they ever received any like weird letters like this. And Andrea Woods the next day emailed him back and actually said, like, yeah, we did get one of those letters, but we didn't pay much attention to it. And it was the only letter they ever got in like the 23 years they lived there. And basically it was right before they were selling this house, and the letter said something along the lines of like, thank you for how well you've taken care of this house.
So they must, they would. So
Yeah.
the watcher, Bruno was very appreciative of this Woods family.
Yeah, they must have fed like his rats that he kept in the wall.
Yeah.
They left a lot of cheese and stuff out for him.
Yeah, so these the breadcrumbs, or what's the names? What's the new family's name? The Brochus or Brothheads? What is brothels?
Broaduses.
Broadustes.
Yeah, or the Broadus family.
Broadus family. So they must not be able to take care of a place. They must have just came in and just started ripping shit apart and just like destroy.
Well, yeah. Could you imagine if this dude's living in the walls? How like pissed you'd get if you were living in the walls
It'd be
and
so loud.
contractors just came in and just started ripping walls down.
Ripping walls, yeah.
Like, hey, asshole, that was my living room. You just ripped
Yeah.
out of there.
Yeah. That's from my wanking spot over there. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's why I got that little hole in the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So after he sent these emails, the woman that they bought it off of had emailed him back about that, and she actually went to the police station with Maria to fill out a police report and talk to a detective. So this might be one of the coolest detective names I ever heard.
Ooh, can I guess what it is?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so detective.
That's probably not going to be anything as cool as what you're going to come up with. So go ahead.
I'm probably not gonna come up with anything cool now though.
Yeah.
Detective. Polo. Like Marco Polo.
Polo.
Like he's trying to find the Watcher. Like Marco Polo.
That's a cool one.
I don't know. Just the first thing that popped in my head.
I thought you were going to come. Oh, can I guess it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Polo. It's like
Detective Robin Banks.
Detective Leonard Lugo. I don't know. That just sounded cool to me.
Leonard
Detective
Lugo.
Lugo.
That is pretty cool. I like that.
So he told Maria not to tell anyone, including or ask any of the new neighbors or anything about these letters. So like, don't even let anybody know that you received these letters.
This was a safe neighborhood.
Yeah,
Safe area.
neighborhood.
So like he didn't want to freak anybody out, and he didn't
part
wanna,
of it, and you also don't want them to know that you're scared.
Yeah.
You know. So after that, things really went quiet for a while. The detectives started a small investigation while the Broaduses continued to work on the house. 2 weeks after the first letter, Maria went over to the house to look over some paint samples, and when she scooped up the mail, she was shocked to find another letter from the Watcher.
You know what I would do?
Not check the mail.
Well, no, I checked the mail.
No.
Move the mailbox, but no.
Yeah.
So on these letters, there's no address or anything? I'm assuming it just says probably like new neighbors or something. Like it probably just.
It doesn't have any return address. Yeah, I don't.
There's
Well,
no,
this one did have a name on it.
So
which
like
is
I'm thinking
interesting.
because all right, so this person obviously wasn't putting the letters like they weren't going to the post office and mailing them or anything like that.
Oh yeah,
It was-
they were coming through the post office. Like it
But I
wasn't
thought
like
you have to have like a return address on there to go through the post office.
I don't know. I guess not.
Because I was thinking this person was just walking over and putting them in the mailbox.
No, this actually went through because they did an investigation. It was they were being mailed from this town,
Yeah.
but they can't narrow it down to like if it came from a box or anything like that.
Dude, this would be a good prank. Like, what if we just went on Google Maps, picked out some random house out in like Utah or Wyoming, and just started sending them random letters like this?
I mean, it would be funny, but it'd be better to do it to a neighbor though, where you can like see their
See their
paranoia.
reactions, yeah,
like,
yeah.
because Could you imagine like how your wife would be like? Because this is one of those.
She'd want to get up and move.
This is one of those like neighborhoods where like they do like the like family barbecues. Like come over to so and so's house. We got a barbecue. Yeah, so you go to this and you're just like there talking to all your neighbors and it's like, is it you? Is it you?
Yeah,
Is it you? Which is just crazy. Yeah, it'd be weird. So after she saw that, and this is what was interesting. So this was actually addressed to them, the family.
This letter was addressed to them.
Yes, but it was addressed to Mr. and Mrs. Braddis.
So he knows their name now.
But he didn't know it right. They didn't use like Broadus. It was Braddis.
Braddis.
Which is interesting because I think some of the contractors there were Spanish or Mexican, you know?
Yeah.
So if you would think of like a Mexican guy coming over, instead of saying like Broadus, it'd be like, oh, hello, Mr. Braddis.
Yeah.
So somebody like that. So you would kind of assume that's how he got their name. He was close enough to these contractors that he was able to hear their name.
Yeah.
Could it be?
In the wall.
In the wall. Well, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of a wall person. Damn, that's solid.
That's not
wall person.
Wall
baby.
person, yeah. Not no lizard person.
Not
no
lizard,
reptile
no.
person. No, we got a wall person, folks.
All right. So, and the rest of the letter said, "I am pleased to know your names now and the name of the young blood you have brought me."
Young blood, dude. When I used to work with the juveniles, they used to call each other young blood all the time. Like, get over here, young blood.
Damn.
Or like, and
that's hard. Corey's last name is Butt Cheese.
Butt Cheese. It's actually Toe Cheese.
Yeah.
Close.
I almost got it.
Yeah.
Finally figured out your last name after this episode 19. Finally figured out
19.
Corey's last
Damn.
name. I know. It's crazy.
We're pushing that 2-0.
Yeah. So we talked, when we got into the podcast, there's like a thing. Remember what I said? It was like when people start a podcast, 90% of podcasts quit after episode 3.
Yeah.
And then out of that 10%, 90% of those quit after episode 20.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
We're almost there.
We're almost there. We're
Let's
getting
go.
there.
Let's go.
Yeah. So this will probably be our last episode you ever
Yeah.
hear from us,
Yeah.
folks. I hope you enjoyed the show, and
Yeah.
we'll see you never. But all right, so into the letter. It said about, I'm pleased to know the names of the young blood you have brought me. You certainly say their names often. Is there an artist in the family? So this is kind of like a key part in the story, because he asked if there's an artist in the family, and the reason he asked that is because in their one like back like room, one of the kids had an easel up there because they would do painting.
Oh.
So that's something to, we'll talk about that a little bit later. So it's just something to like kind of keep in.
So there's an easel in the one room.
Yeah.
So he's definitely living in the walls, because how else would we see that?
Well, yeah,
Unless there's a window in there.
we'll get into it.
Yeah.
To the wall. To the wall.
To the sweat drop down my feet.
Oh, yeah. Because he got that feet cheese. 647 Boulevard is anxious for you to move in, and it's been years and years since the young blood ruled the halls of the house. Have you found all the secrets it holds yet? Will the young blood play in the basement, or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you're upstairs, you'd never hear them scream. Will they sleep in the attic, or will they all sleep on the second floor? Who has the bedroom facing the street? I'll know soon as they move in. It will help me to know who is in which bedroom. Then I can plan better. All the windows and doors on 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house. Who am I? I am the Watcher, and have been in control of 657 Boulevard for the better part of 2 decades now. The Woods family turned it over to you. It was their time to move on and kindly sold it when I asked them to.
What?
Yeah. And that was never mentioned by the Woods family.
Yeah, that was never disclosed. You know,
Yeah.
when you when you sell a house, you know, you got water in the basement. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got to disclose that. But like,
Yeah, we got a guy that watches the house.
they put no.
Yeah.
They put no for
Yeah.
that box.
Does a weird creep watch your house?
No.
No, that's
No.
a big negative.
No. Damn.
I pass by many times a day. 657 Boulevard is my job, my life, my obsession. And now you are too, Braddis family. I'm still getting the name wrong. Welcome to the product of your greed. Greed is what brought the past 3 families to 657 Boulevard, and now it has brought you to me. Have a happy moving day. you know I'll be watching. So yeah, we're into moving day right now.
Moving. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I mean, we're not really into moving day, but the watcher thinks they're moving in.
All right. Let's go.
Let's go.
Are we
we're recording.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving day.
Yeah. Which there's no way these people are moving into this. Well, I mean, obviously I know the answer, but there's no way these people are moving into this
But seriously,
house.
though, do you know how easy this would be to do? Like to play this prank on somebody?
It would be easy, yeah, for sure.
I mean, granted,
you have to have a little bit of time. Just like,
yeah.
not a ton of time, though.
So you
Just
know
a
what I'm
little
thinking?
bit.
It's like a maybe 68, 69-year-old retired person who has a lot of time.
Or, like, I either think that or I think it's like a 20 to 21-year-old that still lives at home and has nothing better to do. And it's just like, so he just, like, smokes weed and just spies on the or that movie Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf when he's on like house arrest or whatever.
I don't think I ever saw
so he
that.
just like spies on all the neighbors throughout the. It's like a spin on that. There's that famous like Alfred Hitchcock movie where the guy breaks his leg and he just like watches all his neighbors and he sees a murder or whatever out the window.
Okay.
But yeah, that's always what I think is something like along those lines.
Because, like, seriously, like, I mean, granted, this house was never put on the market, so I
Yeah.
kind of throw out that. But, like you could get on, look at houses all over the country that are for sale. You could look at all the pictures, know all the floor plans, know
Right.
everything about the house. That house gets sold, you know the address and stuff. You can just start sending them letters.
Yeah, well, even locally, you just have to watch the newspaper for people that close on a house.
Yeah.
Wait till somebody closes it because like it's all usually public
Yeah.
information when people close on a house. Just start sending them letters.
Yeah. So, I mean, it wouldn't
Go get the newspaper, Corey. Let's find one.
be hard to do. And actually, with my job, I get free online access to our local newspapers.
Wow, that's
Dude, newspapers.
pretty much useless.
Dude, newspapers are expensive, though.
They're stupid expensive.
Like, nobody gets newspapers anymore
Yeah,
because they
me
cost
and-
too much.
Me and my wife were looking at it. It's like, yeah, we'll get the local like newspaper delivered to our house. And I looked into it. It's like they want like $300 for the newspaper for the year. That's
yeah.
utterly insane.
Yeah.
So instead, I just go up to the local gas station every morning and I just like look through what I want to go and I just set it back on the rack and I
there
leave.
You go. There you go.
So yeah, but after this letter, it was kind of just like the first letter. You have the lull between letters then. So it just lets you sit there just long enough to think that maybe things are okay.
It's like, should I move in or should,
exactly.
should we not move in?
So
Ugh.
they decided not to move in, and they actually decided to. So their house is already sold in New York. So they have like no choice but to move somewhere.
Yeah.
So they ended up moving in with Maria's parents because they were scared to move into this house. So you can imagine what the mortgage payment is on like a $1.4 million house. Plus, this is in like a neighborhood where you have HOA fees. You got to keep everything shoveled off, your lawn mowed. So you're doing all this for just a house that you refuse to live in.
Because that's probably got to be what a month, like $7,000 a month.
I don't know. I'm never going to.
No.
I'm never gonna find that out.
That's just a guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to begin with something like that. That's nuts.
Wow.
Yeah. So they were just kind of, they didn't know what to do. So what would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah. What would you do in this situation? Because they actually did something that I feel like I would do.
That you would do.
That I would do.
I mean, what I was thinking is, well, before you told me that they were going through the post office for this, because in my mind, before you said that, I was thinking that somebody was coming over and putting the letter in their mailbox. So I was thinking, like, I would write a letter to them and sit it in the mailbox.
Yeah.
Or something.
You're like, listen here, you son
Yeah.
of a bitch and watcher.
Yeah.
Why don't you watch me?
Yeah.
Stick my fist right in your ass.
Yeah. I got an AR in my bedroom that you probably already know
Damn.
about because you probably saw me put it in there.
Damn.
But I'm going to shoot you right between the eyes with this sumbitch.
Damn. And he's going to send you a letter back that says, I will be walking up and down your street, but you won't know it is I. I will climb in your trees, and I will look like a squirrel. I will be
Yeah.
flying in the air like a bird, but you'll think that's a plane.
But honestly, what would I do? Like, what? All right, so I'm trying to think. So, like, all right, say we moved into this house.
Me and you
get
moved
these-
in.
Yeah, me and you, we move in, we get
Yep.
these letters,
Sharing a bedroom.
sharing a bedroom,
Yep.
single sink, not double.
Single sink. Yep. Single bed. Yep.
Yeah. Not a queen, not a king.
A comfy twin.
Yep, a twin. I'd burn the place down.
One match Corey would do.
I'd say, listen here, fucker. I'd pour gasoline around that sumbitch, and then
You'd watch it.
I would watch it burn. I'd have a 30
So this
pack.
is what this feels like. It's
I'd have
really
a 30
not that bad.
I'd be sitting out there with the cheapest chair I could find, 30 pack, Bush Light right there, gasoline, middle fingers in the air, drop a match on that shit and watch it burn. And I would say, F you, you watcher, watch this. I'm watching this. You're watching me. Well, F you. That's what I would do.
That's pretty much what they did.
Shut your mouth. You like to mess with me.
I do.
So
I do.
They probably did something stupid, like they pretended to move in and put mannequins in the house and pretended like they were living there. But go ahead. No, don't even say, oh, did you read my notes? oh.
All right, so the family actually pretended to move in.
So, okay. I was close. Mannequins.
No, they didn't pretend to move in. They
Son of a bitch, I hate you.
they called a church and had somebody come bless the house. And that's where we get the third letter is after this blessing.
What's that going to do if it's a real person?
Well, they don't know what it is. They're like grasping at straws right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because this could be like Robert.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it could be like a possessed
I don't know.
doll.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a possessed doll living in the walls. Do you think about that one?
Now, where would that rank on the list? would that go under dolls at number 2?
I think it would just go under
Or
dolls.
is there going to be a new category for wall doll?
Wall doll, yeah.
All right, so after they had all this done, they got a new letter. So you ready? So I found this letter was the most interesting from me, and this letter made me change my perspective on this a little bit.
Was it because it was authenticated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The hell's he talking about? Authenticated. Huh. All right. So you got to remember that they just had this house blessed, right? 657 Boulevard is turning on me. It is coming after me. I don't understand why. What spell did you cast on it? It used to be my friend, and now it is my enemy. I am in charge of 657 Boulevard. It is not in charge of me. I will fend off its bad things and wait for it to become good again. It will not punish me. I will rise again. I will be patient and wait for this to pass and for you to bring the young blood back to me. 657 Boulevard needs young blood. It needs you. Come back. Let the young blood play again like I once did. Let the young blood sleep in 657 Boulevard. Stop changing it and let it alone.
Rest in peace. It's the Undertaker.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
Rob Van Dam's on the roof.
Yeah.
No, but this it changes the perspective a little bit that they had somebody come in and bless this house, and all of a sudden it's like he can feel a change in him.
So it's not anybody that's Google Map in this, Google Earth in this.
Wouldn't
It's
think
somebody
so at
that
this
can
point.
see it. So they saw some priest over there dumping holy water on
Yeah,
this
there's
place.
there's somebody there. Yeah.
And then they're just still messing with them. It's probably just the neighbor that doesn't want anybody there. Like, I know my grandparents in town, every time they have a new neighbor come in, they're always, like, watching out the window, like, making
I
comments,
can see
judging
see
them and
that.
stuff. Like, you see what they did? You see this? You see that? Their grass is, 5 inches high. Like, why aren't they cutting their grass? There's weeds growing up to the second story, which there was. But I could see that. It's just...
That's why I didn't buy a house next to your grandparents.
Yeah, you're only a couple blocks away, but still, like, it could just be a grumpy, old, angry neighbor who just doesn't want anybody living there.
Yeah. It could be, for sure.
Man, I love this story. Keep it coming.
It's freaking weird.
Yeah.
So at this point, they're at their wits' end. I already said they sold their previous house and moved in with their parents. So they're paying for absolutely nothing. And this is where it gets kind of crazy. they decide they're going to sell the house. Like they're just not even going to move in. They're going to sell it. They also decide that when they're selling this house, they want to be forthright with people that there's a guy that watches this house and sends letters.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. But they just felt, I guess, in their heart of hearts that it's the right thing to do.
F that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. So that's what. So all of a sudden now you get people that are like, oh, I can get a deal. You know, so there's people showing up that are offering them like they basically just wanted 1.4 million. They just wanted their money back. They didn't care about the renovations. They just wanted to get the hell out of here. So people are coming there and being like, "Hey, would you take 500,000?" It's like, no, not even close.
Yeah, I'd come by. Hey, I'll give you 200,000. That's my max, though.
Yeah. So you have all these random ass people are coming here trying to buy this house for a bargain. And it starts turning into a total and complete mess.
It probably starts stirring up this neighborhood in this town, too, because, like, at this point, the words probably starts getting spread.
It does. And, yeah.
The detective, Leonard Skinner, what was his name? Leonard Lugo? Did I get the Leonard right?
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Leonard.
Leonard Lugo.
Yeah.
Probably gets pissed off then.
Yeah, you got to think this is like a quiet little town, and this is stirring stuff up in this town.
This is a pretty big thing.
And you're in a nice neighborhood. You're not in just some regular you are in
probably the
hoity-toity town,
nicest block of New Jersey.
Yes,
which isn't saying much.
No,
it's probably
not.
the worst town in Pennsylvania. But
wow. It's like Shamokin, Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
it would just fit right into New Jersey.
Hey, you could buy a house there for like $2,000. That's why I mentioned that $2,000.
You
That's
can.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, you can. So I'm going to take a little break from this, and I'm going to dive into some of the suspects. So I think and through this episode, you've mentioned already suspects. Maybe not specific suspects, but you mentioned the people that you thought would be involved.
Yep.
So one of the biggest suspects is the one next door neighbor. So his name is Michael Langford. So, of course, all the neighbors at one point are suspects into this. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. They'd have to be because they're the closest ones to the house.
But it's more specifically Michael Langford and his family. So
Do we know how old he is?
Do I know how old he is?
Do we know how old he is?
Yeah, I don't know if I wrote it down, but I read it. Yeah, I have an idea how old he is.
Can you tell me?
I can. He's mid-40s, I think, late 40s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking 68, 69, but I guess...
I thought he was 40s. Maybe he is that old because his mom's pretty old, I think.
He could just be living at home collecting disability.
Yeah. It could be. I don't know.
So
could be grand. Yeah.
That would count as retirement.
Maybe he is that old. I don't know. It
All
could
right.
be. I thought I saw 40s, but it might be wrong.
Could be 64, and you thought it was 46.
It could,
Dyslexic.
yeah.
It's
That
all right.
happens.
All right. Yeah, it happens to the best of us. Go ahead.
So the family next door who were a little bit off became the prime suspects. Peggy Langford lived there. She was in her 90s and had a few of her adult children
She's
living
in her
the house.
90s?
Yeah.
She's a top suspect?
She's not, but she has her adult children just living in the house.
Who are in their 70s.
Yeah. Yeah, so Michael's definitely older than 40-some. Yeah.
That's like the great-grandchild.
Yeah. So Michael Langford in particular has gained the attention of Detective Lugo and Derek. Michael denied that there really was anything. Michael denied everything, and there really wasn't anything to keep him in custody or to really even question him because they had no evidence at all except for that he's a fucking weirdo.
It's weird,
Yeah, that's all they had.
Yeah.
So they let him go. But as to why Derek, the father, was so locked in on Langford's is because during all of this, he was doing his own research. He figured out when every family in the neighborhood had moved in. So he's kind of trying to use that to see who'd been there the longest.
That makes sense.
And they were there since the 60s. So we go back to the first letter when the watcher said his father watched in the 60s.
Yeah.
And right around the time that the watcher said that he picked it up was around the time that Mr. Langford had actually died. So interesting.
Okay.
Probably.
So wait, he's saying that. Can you just go ahead and go over that again?
Yeah. So in the first letter, the watcher actually like referenced his father watching the house in the 60s.
Yep.
And he said now it was his turn.
Okay.
So his father had just died in the past 5, 6, 7 years, possibly passing the torch on to a son. I don't know. Then I kind of got reading other things that they said they got DNA off of one of the letters, and the DNA was actually a woman. The more you read about this, the more you realized how totally lost law enforcement was with any of this. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have a clue.
So this was like 100% like a legit like situation, legit case.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I in the article from The Cut, they actually said that in the school they were going to, I can't remember what the lady's name was, but you know the movie Silence of the Lamb.
Yeah.
You know Clarice.
Yeah.
So the lady that sat on the school board was the lady that Clarice was based upon that worked for the FBI. She actually got involved and like looked at some of this stuff to try. Like the FBI was involved because Derek had known people. You know, he's kind of a well-to-do type of guy. This is a well-to-do neighborhood. He had parts of the FBI involved in looking into some stuff.
And they still couldn't figure it out.
Nothing.
Damn.
Yeah. You have like 3 letters to work off of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now there's interesting things that happened in the letter. Like I know one thing was, I can't remember the exact date that they used on the first letter, but let's say it was like June 4th. He used like Tuesday, June 4th. But when you actually like looked at June 4th on the calendar, that was on a Thursday. Like it's just random stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they're like random typos and random stuff where you like double space between words for what I don't know. It was weird. They weren't totally sure on like the intelligence or like, I don't know.
Going back to that movie that I talked about, I can't remember what the hell it's called. I'll have to I'll have to ask my wife and see if she remembers what it was called. It was a good movie.
Yeah. It was probably called, I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, go ahead.
So another, these are all theory, like now we're moving kind of from, that was the only suspect they had was Michael Langford. So now we're kind of going on to like theories or possible other suspects to everything. One of them would be former owners.
The Woods.
Or housekeepers. Do you remember that story about how he referred to, like, it'll be nice to have young blood run through the halls like I did when I was younger?
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that some of the private investigators picked up on. And they were wondering, this was a big house. There are people that served at this house and everything.
Like one of their kids or something.
Yeah, was this one of their kids that ran through the hall and it just has an attachment? That's
like
why
has
he's
like
so
a fixation on his
yeah, and that's why he's
house.
so angry that this house is being like remodeled and stuff like that.
Could be like a poor family and like this son of a bitch is like pissed off that
Living
like
in the walls.
Like, yeah,
wall, wall people.
Just hold on a second.
Yeah, okay.
He's pissed off that like he grew up in this house, just being there with his mom, doing some housekeeping and stuff. He grew up to be this older adult or whatever, and like he's living in a shack, and he's just so pissed off and so fixated on this house that he grew up in that he's gonna F over everybody that lives there because he's so mad that he can't be there.
Yeah, and that's part of and that kind of gets into like the different classes too. You know what I mean? Like he's like a lower class, mad and angry at the upper class. That's another theory with it.
But is this whole neighborhood, like I'm assuming if...
This whole neighborhood's upper class.
I was going to say, if you have $1.5 million house...
Now, when you look at the Langford house, I think, on this block, because they've been there so long, they're like the lower tier of... They've just like went through longevity of this neighborhood being up and coming.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One of the theories is that this whole thing's a hoax. That these people, and this isn't really a bad theory, that these people bought a house for $1.4 million and just thought, what the hell were we thinking buying a house for $1.4 million? So that they made these letters as trying to claims. So they could either claim by these letters that the previous owners had set them up, that they could get out of the mortgage. Also, maybe they could get some TV rights and stuff like that to be able to make money off this and everything.
Oh, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is... A lot of people out there are thinking of ways to earn a quick buck.
Yeah.
Like, how about the lady, years ago that said there was a finger in her Wendy's chili? and it wasn't a real finger or whatever.
Dude, my dad found a quarter in his Wendy's chili the one day.
See, Mike's dad found a quarter in his
Dude,
Wendy's
I'll
chili.
never forget. I was like eating we were at the kitchen table because we got it to go. You know what I mean? I just remember my dad took a bite, and I looked at his face. His eyes were all big, and dude, he just spit out a quarter onto the kitchen table, grabbed his chili and my chili, and just went and threw it in the trash can. Like a quarter.
Yeah.
Imagine if he swallowed that.
Yeah. My
Holy
God.
shit.
I think the biggest surprise of something that ended up in my meal was I was at Red Lobster? Red Lobster, yeah. Back when I was like younger. And I remember there was a live ladybug in my salad.
Oh, barf.
Yeah.
Dude, those things stink, dude.
Yeah, there's a ladybug in my
Stink.
salad. But that was like probably minus, sometimes you get long hairs and stuff which they gross me out so much.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Not a quarter, though.
Not a quarter. What year was it? What year was the quarter?
Oh, I don't know what year the quarter was. I know I was like 9 when it happened.
I wonder what state it was.
Yeah. Washington State.
Probably-
He's hated them guys ever since.
Wasn't New Jersey.
No, it's not New Jersey. Oh, man. So, yeah, the hoax or just a prank of someone trying to just, I don't know, stir up the neighborhood. Kids live in a boring neighborhood, and this is a good way to get everything all riled up, I guess. I don't know. That's one of the big theories behind everything.
That's a pretty, pretty intelligent prank for kids to pull, though.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have thought of anything like that growing up.
Yeah, it would have to be like somebody older if they were doing a prank.
Yeah.
We're doing like poo, like I was doing poo dollars when I was that age. You ever do poo dollar?
No.
You take a poop and you wipe your butt with a $1 bill and then you just lay it on the sidewalk. Then when somebody picks it up, you just say, "There's poo on that $1." That's the kind of stuff we were into as kids.
No. Just prank calling, just like opening the phone book and just like randomly pointing to somebody and calling them and then giggling. Yeah.
Yeah. Just, isn't it funny, the things that are funny when you're a kid, though?
Yeah.
Because it's like, we do that now. It's like, well, this is stupid. That guy's got to work tomorrow, you know?
And actually, like, I didn't even know they still made phone books. Like, I got a phone book the other day in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell is this? A phone book? Like,
dude, they're so small now.
Yeah, they're
tiny.
They are. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? Like, all these people that still have landlines are people that are like 70 to 100 years old. Like,
old.
I ain't going to call them.
So then the last kind of theory would be paranormal.
Yeah.
So you would have spirits or entities. You would have surveillance by an unknown force. Like, I don't know if there would be some way that, like, some kind of supernatural force on the outside of the house would watch it. I don't know.
Yeah.
The paranormal thing's weird, but it's also, I would totally throw the paranormal thing out the window, except for the fact when I read that after they had this house like blessed and all that by a priest, these letters were super angry that they were getting. Yeah.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, so that's why it's like, is this something like, is there like a demonic portal in the house or something? I don't know. It's so weird. The letters are just vague enough to like not give you any clues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or is this just a cursed or haunted location? Or is there some kind of mystical influence? Or is the house... Oh, yeah, I did say cursed. Yeah. Is there some kind of curse on the house? So...
But you think if there was a curse on the house, the previous owners would have got more than one letter.
You would think, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unless there was something with, like the curse started when they sold the house somehow. I don't know.
Or even, like, if the previous owners had like similarities to like this person's parents or this person's relatives, where it was more similar to like what they knew. Yeah. So like they were like, oh, this is good. Like this is great. Like, you know, it's mom and dad.
Right.
Just,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sense.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the whole thing's just so weird. But this is one of the first things that I think we've gone over where I kind of got to it. It's just like maybe there is some kind of weird paranormal aspect to this house, you know? So that's all the theories. So what do you think happened to this house? I think I already might have told you between takes.
I
what
mean,
actually happened.
I know we talked about what I would do, and like I would just burn this sumbitch down and like collect the insurance, but probably I think you said they tried to sell it, so I'm gonna guess they sold it, but sold it for less than what they bought. That's my guess.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, they took a pretty good hit.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So they had a lot of failed property sales after receiving the threatening letters. The Broaddus family found it difficult to move forward with their plans to raise their family in the house. They initially tried to sell the home, but the fear generated by the Watcher letters made it virtually impossible. The family claims that the house was essentially unsellable after the letters were made public, leading to financial strain. And this is when they actually decided to sue the Woods family.
They sued the Woods family?
They sued the Woods family, claiming that it was not disclosed the existence of the Watcher or any relative threats when they sold the property to the family.
How much or how long did the Woods family live there? They lived there for quite a while,
23
right?
years or something like that.
Yeah, 23 years.
Yeah, like long time.
So, like, I feel like they would just throw that out because, like, they left there.
Yeah,
they
did
lived there
end
for
up-
20 some years. Like, chances are they they said they had one letter or whatever once they reached out to them, but like, you're not gonna live somewhere for 23
Right.
years if you're getting these
Yeah.
letters. You know what I mean?
So here, the lawsuit was dismissed in 2017. The judge ruled that they were not obligated to disclose the letters, as there was no tangible evidence that the Watcher posed a direct threat to the property. The court found that the Watcher letters, while unsettling, did not constitute a material defect in the property that would require disclosure.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this family just got like destroyed with all kind of legal costs, plus all the private investigators that they hired to like look into this. Like they hired all kind of private
I'm
investigators
sure.
to try
Yeah.
and figure
They
stuff
probably
out.
have like the best of the best too. I mean,
Yeah,
you have $1.5 million house. Like,
you would think. Yeah, you got
you
got
ain't
some
just getting your
hookup.
public
Yeah.
defender.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so then they tried going after defamation lawsuits. So as the Watch story gained media attention, the family found themselves in the public eye. They filed lawsuits relative to the privacy and violations of defamation that arose from the media coverage. For instance, the family was reportedly disturbed by the way the media portrayed their situation, including the situation that they might have fabricated the story for the attention of financial gain. So basically they sued certain media outlets for reporting on this story. Yeah. And I read a story that they actually, I can't remember exactly how it went, but they decided that maybe they would just destroy the house and divide this, because it was on a pretty big lot, and divide it into 2 lots. But they were like 4 foot short on being able to divide it into 2 lots, because you need like a certain amount of like footage to do it. So they were like 4 foot short. And everybody in the town's like, hell no, they ain't tearing that house down. Like, people like went and fought it like crazy, because a lot of people in this town were just pissed at these people because they moved in from New York and just caused all kind of hell and stir in this really nice, community.
Quiet.
Yes.
No crime. Like, everybody, yeah. Damn. All right, so I'm under the impression that these brothel folks, Brocious, what's their names?
Broaddus.
What's close? Broaddus. These Broaddus folks sold the house.
Yeah,
So, like, what are the circumstances surrounding this?
Yeah, not good if you're the Broadduses, really. So they did eventually sell the house, but it took several years and was a difficult process.
Several years.
Yeah. After receiving the disturbing letters, they initially attempted to sell the property, found it nearly impossible due to the fear and publicity surrounding the situation. The house remained unsellable for some time, as potential buyers were understandably hesitant after hearing about the letters. However, in 2019, after several years of trying to sell, the Broaddus family was able to unload the house at a significant loss. They sold the property for $959,000.
Damn, so they lost like $600,000 on this place.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah, over 400. Yeah, like 450,000 plus whatever they paid to renovate. Probably close to 6 till it's all said and done. Yeah.
Wow.
This loss came with extensive effort to clean up the home and to market it without drawing too much attention to it.
Damn.
Yeah. And
So several years it took them to sell this bitch.
yeah. Yep.
Dude, that's impressive. I feel like there's a lot of people out there, like famous people who are loaded with money that would like die to have this house.
Yeah. Know who comes to mind?
Zach.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. But
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage. You know that dude buys like all kinds of shit like that.
No, really?
Like he bought she's like the one madame down in remember American Horror Story
Yeah.
Coven?
Yeah.
There's like the crazy woman that like has all the slaves in her attic,
Yeah.
Madame La Frise or something like that. Like she's based on a real person. Nicolas Cage bought her house,
Damn.
and he also has like his like grave and everything bought down there in some big fancy like cemetery and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Nick Cage comes to mind as somebody that would just buy this.
You know who
crazy-ass
just
house.
bought? Okay, I saw it today. Oh, I saw it a couple weeks ago that they were selling they were selling 10 Batmobiles from the Dark Knight.
Did see who bought Batmobile.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
I was like, that
to
son
Jamar
of a
Chase
bitch.
about it.
I think I was sitting on the toilet today pooping, looking through my phone, and I was like, I saw like Joe Burrow bought, one of the $3 million Batmobiles from,
Yeah,
the Dark Knight series, and I was like, must be nice.
yeah.
I would love to have one of them sitting
you
in my
pay-
driveway.
When you pay that money to have those frosted tips like he does, the Batmobile is what you need.
Oh shit! All right, so these some bitches, okay, they sold their house. Who'd they sell it to? Do we know the
I
names?
don't know the name. That was all like.
Because I want to follow up with these people
Yeah.
who are living there
You
now.
want to send them letters, don't you?
I want to drive over there.
Just want to send them pictures of your wiener.
Yeah.
Hey, I like this
Yeah.
Polaroid pictures. Corey's dong.
They'd be like, "What's that? Is that a bug? Is
They'll
that
say,
like,
I guess you could call that a dick.
is that an ant? What is that?"
So yeah, the new owners bought the house, and up to this point, they have never received one letter from the so-called watcher.
Wow. Do we know if they're still living there today?
Yeah, they're there. Yep. As far as I know,
As far
yeah.
as you know, did he?
Yep. That's it. That's what I got.
Hold on. I'm trying to think here.
Yeah.
So we got the new owners living there. They haven't received a letter. So, like, what do you make of that then?
I don't know. And there's conflicting reports. There's reports that they did get a letter, like they got a letter, but they took legal action right away, so they couldn't be released to the press. And,
Or was it just the other family just making it up again,
Yeah, and if I was doing a hoax from the other family, of course I have to send a letter to this family then when the house sells.
Yeah,
I can't
absolutely.
just, because if it just, nothing gets sent, then how bad does it look for me?
Yeah, I would definitely be sending letters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to be writing with my left hand.
Yeah.
They can't trace, like...
You have to sit on it so it falls asleep and then write on it with your left hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call that being a ghostwriter.
Yeah, I do that at night, too, in the bathroom.
Golly, what's wrong with you?
A lot.
But yeah, that's what I got, so you know what that means.
Oh, shit. This gets a folklore score.
Gets a folklore. I would consider this a folklore.
I would say
right? It's an
folklore
urban
score.
legend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it was real. It's a real urban legend,
Real.
folks. Even though all of them are real.
Well,
Just like Rudolph. Well, no, he's not real. The other ones, though, they're real.
Yep. Blitzen's real. All right, you ready?
Folklore score.
Folklore score. Let's do it.
All right, so we got the folklore score, and I'm just gonna look up here at the board real quick, and I'm thinking we're gonna be like right somewhere in the Hatman Boo-Hag range.
Yeah, I agree. I think we might be able to. We might get above Hatman,
Yeah,
but I think we might fit right in there in the 8-9 range. I think Jersey Devil's going to be gone today.
yeah.
56 is scores to beat to get
Yeah.
on the board. 56 is it. So Corey, what do you got?
I got a 29.
I got a 30. So we were right there at 59.
59.
So that takes care of Jersey Devil.
He gone.
He gone.
He
Watch her on.
gone.
And oh man, it's so nice when we just knock off like just one off the board. It makes it
so
so
easy to edit the
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, makes it so much easier. So let's dive into our scores real quick. Corey, for spookiness, I gave it a 9.
I gave it 10.
10, yeah.
Just, like,
Historical, cultural significance,
gave it a 2.
gave it a 2. I agree. Yeah, there's just not really
There's-
that much relevance.
Yeah.
It's just so new.
If the shit was happening still today, I might have gave it a
Yeah.
4.
Yeah. Believability,
I gave it a 9.
I gave it a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Pretty-
there's real letters. There's actually like legally letters that came from the Watcher and all these like court cases and stuff like that. So there
Yeah.
is some sense of believability to it.
Yeah.
Uniqueness, I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 7.
Gave it a 7. And then for threat level,
Gave it a 1.
I gave it a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
He just wrote letters
He just
to
all
spelled
talk.
stuff wrong and didn't know people's names.
All talk, and it's not
All
even
talk.
It's not even verbally talk. It's just
No.
written talk.
It's just yeah. It is what it is. But that was fun. No, this
I
was
liked it.
interesting. I remember reading about this one forever ago on Facebook. So when I kind of saw, how, like, you read like certain things on Facebook, you just think they're just made up. Like,
Pretty
they're
much
not real stories. They're
Most
just
things I read on Facebook, yeah.
yeah. So this might have been a Ranker article. Maybe I read. Could have been. But anyways, I read this and I thought it was a fun read on Facebook, and then I kind of dove into the actual real story. So there's a Netflix series called The Watcher that is loosely based on the events of this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I got a question real quick before we wrap up, though.
Yeah.
So, like, it's Christmas is coming up soon.
Christmas
yada,
is
yada.
coming.
How can you tie in these letters in this situation to, like, Christmas and Santa?
Letters, you say? Like letters to Santa, you say?
Yeah, like, how can you like kind of like make
Yeah,
this
I don't know. When I hear letters and stuff like that, like my mind goes, especially this time of year. I got kids at home; they want to write letters to Santa Claus. Santa goes through all the letters. The elves do all the watching.
Or what if it was like, okay, maybe Santa Claus got really, I don't know, pissed off or just upset about
Are you
something.
still talking about Krampus though? I feel like you're talking about Krampus.
I'm not talking about
pissed off.
Okay, we'll tie Krampus in then.
Here we go.
Maybe Santa got pissed off from this family that moved into the house because growing up they asked for something. They were asking for something, too much.
Dildos.
Yeah,
And the elves made dildos, but because they made these dildos, it made them discover how much they like playing with them. So all of a sudden, now they're not making toys anymore because they can't even get up for work because they've been up all night playing with their toys.
yeah.
So now all of a sudden, like, Santa's
so-
behind.
They can't get up because they're tired or because they're sore.
Right. Yep.
So
Correct.
So Santa's just pissed off at this family. So he's like, you know what? Instead of your
you
young
little dildo
bloods,
heads?
instead of your dildo head young bloods sending me letters, I'm gonna beat you to it, and I'm gonna send you some letters.
You're damn right.
So then he started sending them.
So
letters.
he sends like a couple elves, like, hey, go watch these people for me and
Yeah.
report back so I can write them letters.
Yeah,
Living in the walls.
that's what it is. Santa looking in his magic globe, or the walls of the Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Or the balls. And that's it for me today, Corey.
All right.
All right. So make sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
I did throw something on Threads and
I
X
knew you were going to say Threads. I felt
during
good.
Krampus.
Attaboy.
Yeah,
Gotta love a good Threads once in a while.
that's right.
But yeah, go on there, give us a good 5-star review. This was a fun episode.
That
This
was
was
fun. I
different
liked
than
it.
like what I feel like we've been on like a big like cryptid kick. This was
Yeah.
this kind of was more back to like the Black Eyed Children urban legend type feel
Yeah.
to this episode. So this was fun. So I enjoyed it. I'm Crack Daddy Mike, and I'm out of here.
I'm BK Corey, and I'm out.
That stands for butt crack, and that's what he is.
Mike's dumb.
Corey, you forget I control all this. Corey's an idiot.